Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today guys, we're going to be diving down into the charts to take a look at several different altcoins and what has been going on most recently here in the crypto space. As we get into this video, if you do find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you are going to be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Right, with all that said, done and out of the way, let's jump on down into the desktop and take a look at what has been going on here in the crypto space. Okay guys, we're going to spend a little bit of time to start with by setting the foundation, right? So we're taking a look at Bitcoin here, and we're going to analyze what's going on here with Bitcoin to help us understand the direction of the general market. And once that's kind of anchored in, we're going to take a look at some altcoins to see what's going on with those as well. Most altcoins are following pretty similar patterns, so we'll take a look at three different altcoins, and hopefully it'll give us an idea as to what's kind of going on generally speaking. So for Bitcoin here, if we just zoom on out a little bit, we can acknowledge that we had, an impulsive move down. This got completed actually on the higher end of my scale here, and there's 1.618 at 34,600, and there was the possibility of actually pulling a little bit down towards the $32,000, creating the double bottom. We've avoided that, and we have had this impulsive move to the upside, right? So wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, and coming to the upside here, pull back for wave 4, and we're in the middle of this fifth wave, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to really review what is going on right now with Bitcoin here on this hourly chart in terms of this movement, because it is really, really choppy. But the stochastic RSI on this hourly chart is basically allowing us to have these multiple corrections occur, both up and down, that then are basically working our way towards our target, right? So if I actually grab hold of the top of our third wave and the bottom of our fourth wave, here we can actually see the target comes in about 41,190 or so. It's in that kind of range. It's probably not as accurate as it needs to be, but it's right up there, right in that 1.618 area. Obviously, in this on this journey to the upside, we've got a couple of areas of resistance, right? We've got to get through, right? We've wicked above here, and we actually came up into this key area just up here. This is a major area of resistance. As you can see, we've wicked up and we pull back down, right? So as I kind of mark this up, we can see that we had a good move down. Okay, we're moving up. We had a nice ABC right here. Okay, so we have this corrective move to the upside. We then obviously were hoping that this would be an impulsive move within 5 waves. That failed. We were looking at this as a triangle, and then this wick actually invalidated that. So what we actually end up with is a very, very choppy move, right? We basically have your A, B, C here. We then have another move up here. We have A, B, and then this huge impulsive C wave. And I don't think that's necessarily impulsive. I think it probably fell a little bit short of that, but we'll check it. What have we got? No, it did go impulsive, but was unable to hold it, and we pulled back down. And here we can see that we had another ABC, a longer A wave this time, a B wave up higher, and then a C wave that was short. And now we're moving back up, okay? So there's a couple of ways that you can look at this. This could be a larger ABC down. I don't think that's the case. I think we're now tracking up. The stochastic RSI is allowing for that. The volumes are incredibly low. Okay, so what we are going to be looking at here is this momentum behind the price action, and that stochastic RSI. They're going to move quite rapidly, and it's going to be very, very choppy. There's not a definitive movement that's going on here for Bitcoin. And I think this is basically down to the fact that there's not a lot of confidence in the space right now for Bitcoin, right? So we should be prepared that if Bitcoin is doing this, that the altcoins are going to do this as well, okay? But ultimately, I do see this still fulfilling its requirements. So this might just be, an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave higher or whatever. Maybe, and eventually, after all lots kind of this kind of choppy action, so you might have that. You might have, another ABC down, and then maybe by the end of the weekend, we finally get to this target. Once we get to this target here, it completes the wave on the bigger scale. And effectively what that would allow us to do is then see a much deeper corrective action, okay? And obviously how deep that goes is kind of just pure speculation. I have a couple of thoughts, and I'll go through what I think that looks like. Let me just remove some of these and get them off the chart there. So in terms of retracement, once we've hit this 1.618, this $41,000 range, once we actually get that, I would anticipate that we should be looking down here towards this area. Okay, so There's actually quite a lot of gaps that were left behind here. But if we actually think about retracements on this entire impulsive move up, then actually what we're going to be looking for is I'm going to actually remove that fib. We don't need that one, and I don't need that one anymore. So what I think, if we actually have our fifth wave high here, and we have our low point just down here, then our halfway point, our 50% retracement, pretty much comes into this resistance line. We can drop down lower, like 36k, and those are perfectly normal kind of retracement zones. But obviously, as a part of this move, I would expect this to be, because this is effectively a start of an upward move in itself, right? Because we are talking about moving up towards 47k on the bigger scale for Bitcoin. We should expect an ABC correction of some kind of merit, right? So this might just be 38k. No one really knows where that's going to go until we actually start to see these waves come in. But it should be a significant kind of pullback that we can notice it on the larger time frames. Once you have that, then I would kind of be looking and expecting another series of 5 waves up, okay? Because on this journey up to here, I'm kind of expecting this to be pretty kind of standard play in terms of what we would expect from an impulsive move, which would be a 5-3-5-3-5. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. And obviously inside all of these, there's going to be multiple waves. Now, I'm not going to go into that detail in this video, but just kind of be aware this is kind of what I'm looking at for Bitcoin, and therefore we have to be aware of this potentially playing out on the altcoins, right? So we are looking for a push up, and then we are looking for pullback, right? So now let's get into the first altcoin. So the first one I want to talk about is Cardano, and for anyone who was in our Discord server, you'll know that we were talking about this triangle, and obviously the explosion that was coming out of there, right? So here we actually have the Elliott wave triangle. This is effectively a fourth wave from here, and the leading coming down was an A, B, C, D, E, and then breakout. Now we can look at this in a couple of different ways. You can look at it as if it was a B wave, or you can look at it as if it was a fourth wave. For the most part, it doesn't matter because we've completed the move. Okay, so for simplicities, I'm just going to say this was A, this was B, and this was C, right? To keep it as simple as possible. Now, on a 1-to-1 ratio, I think that's what I've measured here. Let me grab this. Yeah, 1-to-1 ratio, we've actually fallen short, right? So in theory, it should have come up to 99 cent. That should have been the target. We actually found resistance right up here, and you can see this as clear as day on the 618, right? That 618 was a block. This is also an area that we had resistance on previously, and this was an area that was also previously an area of support. So lots of resistance right up here. And for Cardano, this would seem to be the blockade, and we started to pull back down. Now, inside here, we can acknowledge that we've actually seen a relatively short ABC move, and again you can kind of look at it like this if I draw it up here and here. Okay, there's nothing special about it. It's kind of exactly what you would expect, and that's actually allowed us to go from overbought into oversold, right? So a very short kind of ABC, nothing special, and we've moved from overbought to oversold. This now means that we are looking for a push up. Okay, so again, aligned to what Bitcoin is doing. As Bitcoin pushes up, we should be pushing up here with Cardano, and this might actually take us to our actual target of that 99.2 cent, right? And so on a larger time frame, if we actually were to come up into a 4-hourly chart, this actually looks like it might be a bit more of a bit of a play here. So this should be a B wave. That completes here. We have the ABC down, and then we look to continue that growth. So we'll obviously know more about what happens here with Cardano next. There's no guarantee that it'll move to 99 cent, but this is definitely going to be an area of resistance right up there at the $1 threshold. We know that's going to be a thing. So we should just be prepared that that's probably where we're going to be heading on our hourly chart. Now, in terms of those larger time frames, on our 4-hourly, we are overbought. On the 8-hourly, we are overbought. On the daily, we are actually just coming out of oversold, and the weekly, we're oversold, and the monthly, we're oversold. So there's a couple of things that are going on here, right? So we need to push up on our hourly chart, and we need to pull down on the 4-hour and 8-hour. So this is why I'm thinking that this is going to be the last little kind of push up before we start to see a substantial kind of correction to help with the price movement on the stochastic RSI with our 4-hourly and our 8-hourly charts. And obviously, at that time, we'd obviously have the hourly chart also up in an overbought area. There's no guarantee of it. It's just kind of what I'm looking at. In order to allow us to continue to grow, we need to have these nice healthy corrections, and I've spoken about this before. So for Cardano here, I am expecting a push up, and then I'm expecting a correction, and that correction, you know, it could be pretty substantial, but I don't think it will go down lower than where we were previously. So it's literally just now profits being taken, let things cool off, and then we continue the growth afterwards. That's kind of the ambition. Now, if we come over to the next altcoin I want to talk about, which is Harmony.One. Now, Harmony.One has actually been doing okay, but we still have potentially a little bit more to go. And there's a couple of reasons for this. We had basically 5 impulsive moves. So we had an A, B, and impulsive C, turning that into a third wave, then pulled down into a fourth wave correction. This was getting pretty much a triangle. And then we got a breakout. Now, this is also tracking as 5 waves. And right now, we have something very similar that we've seen previously. It doesn't really meet all of the requirements for it, but effectively, we have a pole and then we have a flag. So this potentially you could argue is a bull flag. It's one way to articulate it. You have the pole, you have the flag, right? And the problem with that is that the volumes are not really meeting the requirements. You would expect high volume on the pole and low volume on the flag, right? And that's not necessarily the case here. What actually is going on here, I think, is more of a triangular wedge. And again, we can count that up in lots of different ways. I think we actually have to come down into a smaller time frame to actually make a lot more sense of it. So I'm not going to do it in this video, but you know, you'd hypothetically come down into the 15-minute chart and you'd articulate this more like, if I grab hold of that, you'd say this looks like it's going to be our A wave, this being our B wave, C. This is probably D. We come down into our E wave and then we blast on up to the top, right? I'll say I'm not going to draw it in this chart, and then I go ahead and just draw it anyway. But you get the idea, right? So we end up with this kind of continuation pattern. Okay, so you can lots of different names, lots of different ways to analyze it. I call them Elliott wave triangles, sometimes continuation patterns, depending on, you know, the kind of logic there. The reasoning that I say this is obviously when we take this measurement and we actually take this high point that we've had and we take the low point that we've had, it gives us this target right here of 16.1 cent. And I can go ahead and put that here. And then this basically means that although we've hit the 3.618, and there's a high probability that we actually come up to the full 4.236 extension, or just coming short of it on the overall fourth wave that we had over here, right? For this measurement of our fourth wave. If I actually grab that and draw it a little bit more accurately, and put that on there, you end up with not only just hitting the 3.618, but potentially coming a little bit higher and going for the full 4.236. That comes in at 16.3 cent. So for Harmony.One, a little bit more to go, like Bitcoin, push a little bit higher. And then after this move, I expect significant retracement. I say significant, but it should be notable. We should be able to notice it on the larger time frames. Okay. If I remove the volume here, we can see that we are oversold on the hourly, and just like many of the other altcoins, we're overbought on the 4-hourly, we're overbought on the 8-hourly, but the dailies are not doing too badly, just moving up. The weekly is oversold, and the monthly is for Harmony here not in a bad position, but it could be better as well. So I expect some pullbacks to occur on the smaller time frames that will allow us to actually get into a much better position for continued growth. This particular area here is obviously the area that I've been monitoring for a while over kind of maximum kind of potential for accumulation. We actually dropped down a little bit lower than expected, but we have started to soar right back up into this higher area. So all of this is fair game for accumulation. And after this ABC move down, I would be looking for another impulsive move where possible to the upside. We've got a lot of recovery to cover. So again, you know, entry points into this nice and low, looking for that, but obviously we wait for confirmation. We don't just pile straight in. I am expecting a pullback here for Harmony.One. And the next one I want to talk about is obviously VeChain. So a slightly different pattern that you're seeing with you know, other altcoins here. But basically we actually have a completed move, 5 waves up, after a fourth wave down, this coming into just short of a 2.618 move on that fifth wave. You can get an idea that they actually are following a pretty impulsive fifth wave across the board, right? And actually this time we've got something different happening at the top here. This time we're actually seeing the continuation pattern. So this is not a part of the fourth wave or anything like that. It's basically just a flat correction, an ABC. This means that we are likely to see an ABC up along with the rest of the market into that next little section. This is not a part of the impulsive move because we've already had the 5 waves inside it. This is actually now after that impulsive move for VeChain. After this move, I would expect, like the rest of the market, that we see a slightly heavier correction and get things set in stone a little bit, get the timelines kind of corrected, because we have got an oversold stochastic RSI here for VeChain. So we do need to know what we acknowledge that we need to push up on VeChain. So we're looking to get that kind of growth. We don't know where that's going just yet because we haven't formed the waves. But as soon as they do, they will be posted in Discord. So if you're not already in Discord, guys, go ahead and check it out. It's completely free to join us in Discord. And we are in there pretty much every single day talking crypto. Fantastic community. So if you're not already in Discord, go ahead and check it out. So we'll post more details on VeChain down in Discord, so you can get a good idea of what's going on there. But ultimately, this pattern then means we move up a little bit. Then I am kind of just naturally expecting some profits to be taken, and we're going to see some form of retracement. So if we actually take this entire measurement all the way from the start of this impulsive move up, we could be looking at coming back down into this area of consolidation around this 50% retracement zone. I don't expect us to go down too far. There would have to be something pretty major to happen, which is possible, obviously, to allow that to kind of occur, considering the positioning on the daily stochastic RSI, the weekly and the monthlies. We only need to correct the 4-hourly, the 8-hourly. So I'm expecting a 50% retracement. That seems pretty plausible. That would put us right into this area of consolidation of the previous fourth wave. And that could actually be an area of support, maybe even like 4.5 cents, something like that for VeChain. Obviously, we'll know more once those waves start to appear. But for now, we should just be kind of waiting patiently for those kind of dips to occur. And I am still expecting a surge upwards before we actually start to see any kind of pullback, right? So on the 4-hourly, we're overbought. The 8-hourly, we're overbought. The daily, we're heading out of the oversold area. Or the weekly, we're oversold. And the monthly were oversold. So it's very similar, positioning across the board on 3 different altcoins that have pretty much similar kind of structures. So there's a little bit of differences around where they currently are and what I'm expecting to happen next. All of them are looking to push up, but overall, what we're actually looking for here is that last little bit to go up and then a bigger pullback down. And once we have that pullback down, that's potentially where we enter for seeing if there's anything, any decent kind of positioning to go further forward. We're hoping for another impulsive break to the upside and to start to concrete in a little bit of the recovery, so that we can kind of edge our way slightly back through some of these levels that we've actually dropped down into. And obviously, we need to correct the 4-hourly, the 8-hourly, stochastic RSIs across the board here, but majority of the dailies, weeklies and monthlies, they're already oversold. They're already waiting for this move up, and all we need now is to correct the smaller time frame. So that's all we're really talking about here. We're looking for continuation to the upside on the shorter time frame. The medium time frame, we're looking to pull back down, and in the larger time frame, we are looking for big surges to the upside. So guys, I'm going to leave the video there. If you have found it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you are going to be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all of this said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.